Hey everybody, welcome to today's video where I'm going to introduce this new project that I just picked up, this 1997 Ford Ranger. Alright, so to get started, a few more specs about the truck. Like I said, it's a 1997 Ford Ranger. It's a 2.3 liter 4-cylinder automatic transmission. I wanted a 5-speed, but I wasn't able to find one with a nice enough body in this part of the country, so I had to settle for the automatic. The truck also has just over 186,000 miles, which sounds like a lot, but for a truck that's 25 years old, it's really not that bad. But just about any vehicle with that many miles on it is going to have some issues, and this truck's no different. So we'll talk about a few issues the truck has in a few minutes. So for a little bit more history on the truck, this truck came from Maryland. I actually got it from a local dealer in Pennsylvania where I live, but the truck was originally from Maryland. I Carfaxed it, and it was a one-owner vehicle, and it's almost 100% rust-free. And that was something I was really looking for whenever I wanted to buy one of these. And why did I buy one of these? Well, there's a couple reasons for that. For one, gas prices are absolutely horrendous right now. I think they just went over $5 a gallon here within the last day or two. And my daily driver, you can see at the top right of your screen, there is a 2018 Ford Super Duty, and it gets about 11 to 12 miles a gallon. And while I do use the truck to do truck things, I also daily drive it to my day job, which is not really necessary. So I decided to pick this truck up to take the place of that as far as daily driving is concerned, and also use my Super Duty for other work. The second reason I bought this truck was just I kind of wanted to mess around with one of these. I've actually had two other Rangers and a Ford Explorer in the past, but all three of those were four-wheel drives and had some sort of lift or bigger tires on them. And I've never actually messed with a two-wheel drive. With just one, this one is two-wheel drive. So I decided I wanted to get sort of a dual-purpose vehicle, a gas-saving vehicle, and something that I could have a little fun with at the same time. So we'll go ahead and talk about the issues the truck has first. The first issues that I came across were check engine light once I started to drive the truck a little bit more, which it didn't have during the test drive because the battery I think at some point was dead and disconnected. So I drove it a little bit, check engine light came on, and I have a code for an EGR insufficient flow and a purge canister flow code. I've since taken care of the purge canister code, and I'm still trying to troubleshoot the EGR code. I haven't gotten to the bottom of that one quite yet. Another issue with the truck was all four shocks were completely blown. The front ones especially were almost non-functional. The back ones were not quite as bad, but I decided to go ahead and replace all four of those. So I've already done that. Also, after having it for a couple of days, I noticed that every morning when I went to start it, the battery was dead. So at first I thought that it was just a bad battery, so I went ahead and replaced the battery, and what do you know, the next day the battery was dead also. So I started to dig a little bit deeper into that and found that the truck had a parasitic drain on the battery. It was actually about 4 amps, which is pretty significant. So after some additional troubleshooting, I narrowed it down to the alternator itself. So I took that out and took it to a local auto parts store and had it tested, and sure enough it failed the test, so I bought a new alternator and installed it. You'll notice that this doesn't have a set of the factory Ranger wheels on it. These are actually 1996 Ford Mustang GT wheels, and I picked those up a few days ago. And the reason I did that was because the original wheels and tires that were on it were actually all four tires were different brands, and there were two different sizes. One of the four tires was a different size than the other three, and I didn't really want to run the truck that way, so I decided to pick up this set of Mustang wheels fairly cheap. The truck also had an original bed liner in it. It was an over-the-rail type bed liner, which I don't really care for, so I went ahead and pulled that out. And the bed underneath it was actually in really nice shape. And even though the truck was from Maryland, it actually has this old 90s vintage Pittsburgh Penguins sticker on it. And being a Pittsburgh native and a Penguins fan myself, I can appreciate that sticker, so I'll probably actually leave that on the truck as well. Some other miscellaneous repairs and maintenance that I've done so far, I did put a set of front brake pads on it. The driver's side door handle return spring was broken, so I replaced that door handle yesterday. There's a lot of little things like that a truck that's 25 years old and has this many miles on it, you're going to have some problems with. And while it is going to be sort of a beater, if you will, I do want little things like that to work properly. I do have a couple more nagging issues that I need to go over. One of them is the fuel gauge doesn't work, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be the sending unit in the tank, so I'm either going to have to drop the fuel tank out of it or take the bed off to access the fuel tank. I'm actually leaning toward taking the bed off. I think it actually might be a little bit easier to do that. It'll give me a chance to sort of clean and troubleshoot any other problems that might be back there as well while I have the easier access. One other remaining issue is while the air conditioning does work, I only have cold air whenever I have the dial turned to max AC, and I've narrowed that down to the blend door for the temperature control not working correctly. Today I actually pulled out the actuator and it seems to work correctly, so I think the problem is actually with the blend door itself, which is going to be a little bit more involved for me to repair, so I'll probably get to that, and you might see that on a future video. So yeah, a lot of little issues with this truck, but it is an extremely solid body, and that was one of the reasons I decided to pick it up, because those are actually pretty hard to find in southwestern Pennsylvania where we are. So I sort of jumped on the chance to pick one up that had little to no rust on it like this one. So overall plans with it, right now I'm just working on mostly fixing all the little problems that it has so I can start to daily drive it. Like I said before, the other Rangers and Explorer that I had before were four-wheel drives, and this is my first two-wheel drive. And I've always sort of wanted to lower one of these, so I do have a drop kit on order for this. It's going to be a 3-inch drop in the front and a 4-inch drop in the back, and I'll probably video that whenever I do the installation for it, so stay tuned for that. From the performance side of things, these trucks are pretty gutless. I think they only have about 112 horsepower, so at some point I would like to do something to give it a little bit more power, and there's a couple options for that. One of the best options I can do to get the most power is going to be to do something with the drivetrain of a Ford Thunderbird Turbo Coupe. They shared this engine, but it was a turbocharged version of that, had quite a bit more power, and there's been numerous people out there that have swapped either the entire engines or some portion of that drivetrain into these Rangers and have gotten a lot more power. I'm not sure if I want to go that route yet. It would take the truck off the road for quite a while, so if I do something like that, it would probably be more of a winter project. So again, right now my focus is really to get it all fixed up and start to daily drive it. The truck does also have some paint issues, so I'd like to get those corrected at some point too. Overall, the paint's pretty nice for something that's 25 years old, but there's some clear coat peel here. You can see it on the fender in front of us here. The clear coat's peeling off of that fender. The driver door has some of the same issue. Some nicks and scratches and scuffs here and there, but like I said, it's supposed to sort of be a beater vehicle, so right now I'm not too concerned with that as I am the mechanicals. Alright everybody, that's all I have for today's video. If you want to see more of what I do with this truck, please stay tuned for future videos. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, and if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. And I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.